You can work out any major scale without knowing the circle of fifths, and here's how it works. Every major scale follows the same structure, and that's why they all sound kind of the same. And so on. They sound the same because they're all following the same structure. So to understand the structure, you have to know two things. You have to know what a semitone is, and you have to know what a tone is. So a semitone is the smallest distance you can move on a piano. So if you go up the piano in semitones, that's called the chromatic scale. But it's just the smallest distance you can move. It's the smallest interval. A tone is just two semitones. So if we went up in tones from C, the first one would be C, D, E. You jump over the F and go to F sharp, otherwise it'd be a semitone. F sharp to G sharp, to A sharp, and back to C. That's called the whole tone scale because every interval between notes is a full tone. Now, the major scale is a combination of tones and semitones, and here's how it goes. You start on the root, just call the first note the root, and then it goes up a tone, then a tone, then a semitone, then a tone, then a tone, then a tone, and it ends with a semitone. And then we're back to the root note. So that if you just repeat that structure, you know, it will go on sort of indefinitely. Not quite indefinitely, just till you reach the end of the piano. That is the structure for the major scale. So if you memorize that, root, tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone, then you can actually work out any major scale there is. So I'll do like one of the harder ones. Let's say, let's start on F sharp. So we'll do F sharp major. F sharp is our root. We go up a tone, G sharp, up a tone, A sharp, semitone, B, tone, C sharp, tone, D sharp, tone, E sharp, comes out as a white note, and then back to F sharp. Exactly the same structure as C major. All right, so that's how you can work out any major scale just using its structure rather than using the circle of fifths. Now, that is easier than the circle of fifths, but it's not actually as good. It's helpful, but the thing is, the circle of fifths gives you a kind of platform for your music theory. If you understand the circle of fifths, you sort of learn about the kind of how the scales are built on each other and the intervals between them, and you can build on that to work out arpeggios and triads and chords. And all sorts. But if you are limited to just knowing this major structure, that's all it helps you with. You can work out a major scale, but really not much else comes from it. It's still worth doing. It's better to do that than to spend hours agonizing trying to understand the circle of fifths. If you are spending hours agonizing over the circle of fifths, I will link to my previous video where I discuss the circle of fifths and how to work that out. I will do a video on how to work out the minor scales in this way, but I'm not including it here just because it's actually a little bit more complicated, because minor scales do all sorts of crazy things and they have different forms. So I'll do that in the next one.